West Ham are winless in their last six, and our last victory came against today's opponents, Arsenal, at the Emirates on the 28th of December. Of course, with that quite brilliant victory over Arsenal. Now, today we'll be looking for a response, and it is the highly proclaimed Declan Rice derby as he once again returns to the London Stadium for the second time this season, of course, after our Carabao Cup victory back in November. Phil is joining me for our build-up show this afternoon for the Super Sunday. Phil, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. So everything's going well with you. Looking forward to another game.
Yeah, hopefully today we can just instill a bit of positivity back into things. Hello to everybody joining us in the chat. Come on, Leslie. Have you, Robert? I hope you're well. Lawrence over in Kentucky. I hope all is well with you guys. I don't like this game, Phil. I really don't, because this can go one of either two ways. It can be absolutely brilliant, or it's going to be bitterly sort of depressing come 4 o'clock this afternoon because of the ramifications and the personnel in the midfield for Arsenal this afternoon.
Definitely. I mean, look, as you said, it's the third time we played in this season. Both times before we played in this season, I wasn't expecting much, and I was very downbeat before both games. Yeah. And then I was proved wrong both times. So in Arsenal's case, it's third time lucky for them to try and get something out of it. Same with obviously Rice in midfield. He wants to go and prove something. So it's not been this calendar year it's not been good. And as you said, last time we won was against Arsenal in the reverse fixture. So it's really important that we are back on our A game and try and get something out of it. If we can get 6 points against Arsenal this season, then that's something positive to look at.
Absolutely. They haven't beat us in the last 3 meetings of the sides. But, I mean, if we're being honest, before that, it's been quite Arsenal dominated. But, I mean, we've got to take some confidence into this. And this is what Moyes said in his pre-match presser, is that we've already taken 3 points off them this season away from home. Why can't we do it at home? And when we discussed on the preview the other night, the sort of Rice effect on this, he can't have 2-3 bad games against us in a season. He's just not that sort of player. So you feel like he's got to turn up today, and you feel after that. I mean, he's got huge expectations. He's got a big ego. He would have absolutely hated that at the Emirates just after Christmas. That would have absolutely just completely consumed him. He won't want that happen to again. He won't want that to happen again. He's got a point to prove, and we need to try and stop it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we know what he was like when he was with us. Great player in midfield. Really had a bad game, but the times that he's played against us, he didn't pull up many trees. So he's really going to be chomping at the bit to really try and prove something and definitely get one over on us. And he's already experienced all the boos from London Stadium in the cup game. So he'll be prepared for it again this time around. So he'll be training twice as hard, and he'll try and exploit our weaknesses.
Absolutely. And parking the Rice stuff to the side for a moment. Our last game in the Premier League came last Sunday at Old Trafford. It was a frustrating one, Phil. I was there, increasingly frustrated as the time went on, where in the end, on paper, it looked like a bit of a thumping, but it wasn't. And I think we've got to take some confidence into that we stood easily. I thought we were the better side against Man United in the first half, actually. And until they scored their second goal, I thought we were well in that game. And on another day, if we take our chances, I think we win that football match. We've got to take that, we've got to take that sentiment into today's game. And yes, we're going to need a bit of luck, and yes, we're going to need pretty much everything to go right. But a result for West Ham today isn't completely out of the equation.
No, definitely not. I mean, with the Man United game, like you said, yeah, we was actually pretty good in that first half, and I don't know what the team talk was that one was, because I know obviously we had a lot of shots, and I'm assuming it was because they knew Onana was in goal. So I was like, just take a shot, hope for the best, and hopefully he'll slip up. So if you sort of bring that into this game, depending who's going to be in goal for them, it could, you could see something good happening. So as long as if we just keep going at it and just keep going forward, try and if you try and shoot from distance again, good luck to whoever wants to do that. As long as it goes on target, you're in with a chance.
Exactly. We're less than 10 minutes away from receiving those all-important starting lineups from the London Stadium. So we're going to talk a little bit in a second about who we'd like to see in that West Ham starting lineup. Before we do, drop a like on the video and subscribe to West Ham Official if you are new to see who else is joining us. Josiah, I hope you well. He says 2-1 West Ham, please. I think we'd all take that right now. Rodney Bubble, hope you well. Peter, hope you well, mate. Good afternoon, young Jake and chat room. If we get anything today, it will be a bonus. Yeah, I sort of agree with that, but I don't know. Like 1 minute, I'm a little bit like, come on, this is Arsenal. We always turn that, but then I'm sort of bringing myself back down to reality because they're a good side, Arsenal, and we're winless in 6. So we've got to take everything on balance here. And yeah, if we do get anything today, I think it is a bonus, and I think our season properly restarts when we take on Forest or Brentford in a couple of weeks' time, where hopefully we can have Lucas Paqueta back involved in that side. I mean, Moyes disclosed that probably Paqueta and Antonio may not be involved in today's game. Antonio's closer than Paqueta, so we may see an involvement for Mikel Antonio today, perhaps on the bench, or maybe even back into that starting lineup. But Phil, how can you see Moyes sculpting this together today? I mean, we'll go through it formation-wise. I mean, defensively, Zuma, Mavropanos, Agüero came back in last week, didn't do himself much good, I thought. Who would be your centre-half pairing?
I'll have to. It is really hard. You know, look, he's obviously our captain, so your first choice would be him. But he's been a bit sloppy last few games. But I can't see him getting dropped, so I'd say him and Agüero, because they are naturally the first choice.
Yeah,
Mavropanos he's done okay in bits and pieces, but you can have the occasional off game. Yeah. But given the choice, I'd have to go with Zuma and Agüero as the defensive pairing there.
Absolutely. I think you've got to factor Johnson into this somewhere, whether it's a fullback or just a little bit further up, which I think would be more preferable. This midfield, once again, is a little bit of a puzzle for Moyes to try and work out who's he go with in midfield. Phillips is arguably, yes, he was at fault for one of the goals at Man United last week, and I think it was probably more Zuma's fault, the goal on his debut against Bournemouth. But let's be honest, he hasn't had a fantastic start to life in East London. We argued the other night on the preview, is it right to put him back into the limelight again when he's clearly not up to match fitness? Do you think Phillips starts again today?
I'd say keep him on the bench and come on. And it depends how we're playing throughout the game, because we know either way Souček's going to be starting regardless. Yeah. And then you'll have Ward-Prowse and probably Ward-Prowse out on the left, I'm assuming, and then Alvarez sitting back. Like you say, it's not been a great start to life for Calvin Phillips, and even after that, the Zuma error for that Bournemouth game, I still didn't think Phillips was at the races at it. So hopefully, he's got another week of training that he's done. So he should be pretty much met fit now. He's had 2 games to play. He's got to be, he should be chomping at the bit, and hopefully, if he does come off the bench, he'll be raring to go and silence any critics.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's probably right. He should be nearing that match fitness a little bit more the more the training sessions and days go on. And hopefully, we can get that player out of Calvin Phillips, which we know that is inevitably in there. I think we should expect Souček. Obviously, Alvarez should start, barring any major issues injury-wise late on. Of course, Alvarez holds it all together. Probably Ward-Prowse and Souček in there. And depending on, whether Antonio's fit or Paqueta, maybe Moyes is going to, just lump a surprise in there. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I simply think you cannot not start Ben Johnson in this game. He has got to start, in my opinion. I put Johnson on the right, Kudus on the left, and Bowen down the middle. For me, I know that's not Bowen's best position, but you've got to reward players on good performances, or either take one of those players out of midfield, Phil, and put Ings just just playing just behind Jarrod Bowen, the position he played against Sheffield United a few weeks ago, that seemed to make everything work a little bit more. But you've got to reward players on good performances. So players like Ings and players like Ben Johnson have simply got to get into this side today to give us the best chance, because they're the players that are currently on form.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's even if it is sort of looking at square pegs and round holes. I mean, it says a lot, really. After all those years of trying to find a strike, we buy one in Danny Ings. Not had the chances when he plays up front, but he seems to play better when he's behind the striker. And then you've got someone like Bowen, who's better on the wing, but we play him up front, and he seems to have lost a lot of his game, I feel. So that's a hard one. But you're right about Ben Johnson, where he's been on form of late. Yeah. So give him the chance. See what he can do when he's playing a little bit further upfield. It sort of reminds me a little bit the other year with when we had Ryan Fredericks. Yeah. A lot of us weren't too keen on him, but he still had the pace. But when he came on as an impact sub and was playing further forward, he actually looked a lot better. Mm. So it could be the case there with Ben Johnson as well.
Yeah. Oh, I think the shackles have been just removed from him when he's not playing in that fullback position, where he's got to constantly worry about, because that's his job, about the defensive, the defensive work that he has to do. And he started out as a young lad, as a midfielder, and that's what he's becoming now. And he seems like he's having a bit more of a smile on his face. He's looking a little bit more lively, and whether he's putting himself in the shop window or looking to sign a new contract, if first team play and first team minutes are guaranteed, then whatever the case is, you've got to play him. You simply got to play him, and whether it's to sacrifice an out of form Souček, then so be it, Moyes. So be it. Go out there today. We've got to get everything right if we're gonna get something off of the title contenders today. They are a good side. They've had a dip in form this season. They haven't been as good as they were last season, but they're still inevitably a good side. They're still in and around that title race. Yes, we've had a good record against them over the last 12 months or so, but we can't take that for granted. Everything's got to go right today. I can't stress that enough. And I think Peter's right in the chat where he says, I think we need the first goal is absolutely massive today. And despite saying that they scored 2 goals early at our place last season, we managed to drag it back to 2-2, Desmond, to end the game. So look, I think the first goal is massive. If we can get the first goal today, and if we put in the performance that we did at Manchester United last week, and just some things just to fall our way a little bit more, Phil. And even if we lose by the odd goal, I think people would be just a lot more optimistic if we had a go a little bit more, like we did up at Old Trafford last week, and showed that bit of attacking intent, especially now we're back home as well, and against a side that we know we can beat, because we have beat them twice this season.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if we give it a go, then people won't complain as much. People will still complain if we still do lose, because there could be one little defensive mistake, and that's it. Everyone's going to jump on that. But if we give it a go, I won't be too disappointed. But it's going back to last season. When we came back to draw with them, that felt to kickstart our season.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, even if we go out and get a win, we'll be happy getting 6 points out of them, and then we'll feel like we can go on, for the last portion of the season.
Absolutely. We are less than 60 seconds away from team news coming out. Look, the fact of the matter is we've ridden our luck against Arsenal over the last few games, but let's hope that can continue today. And hopefully that's going to start with Moyes setting the tone in an attacking manner. When I receive this team news, and my facial expression will sum it up when I see it. But let's just take some of your comments. Trini says Souček is not our only midfielder out of form. So James Ward-Prowse over for weeks. Very true. Very true. One of them has to be sacrificed if we're going to push on, I think. That's just in my opinion anyway. But look, it is what it is. Ronnie says Phillips has had a poor start, but I believe he will come good. I just hope it doesn't take too long. Yeah, I'm in agreement as well. Peter says Phillips coming in as a Moyes boost has backfired terribly. I just hope he can get to that player that he was at Leeds. It's dead on 1 o'clock. Let's see this starting lineup then. Right, I'm not going to look at it. I've seen Ben Johnson, so I have looked at it. But I'm going to bring it up onto the screen now. It's the first place to be. It's here on West Ham Official. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Vladimir Coufal comes back into the side, and they've done it in a stupid order. I'm going to have to move my lights so I can click add to stage. This is chaos. Right, where am I going here? Here. Right, there we go. Areola, Johnson, Zuma, Coufal, Ward-Prowse, Kudus, Alvarez. But why have they done it in number order? Kudus, Alvarez, Bowen, Agüero. Right, okay, let's work this out. I don't know where Johnson's playing, so we'll just disregard Johnson. So Zuma and Agüero are the centre halves. Emerson and Coufal are the fullbacks. You've got why have they gone to number order? Who's decided that? Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, and Souček in midfield. And then on either side, you've got Bowen. You've got Kudus and Johnson, and then Bowen through the middle. So pretty much as I expected.
Yeah.
They've done that in number order, which has really annoyed me. But I think we've got that. Phil, what do you make of it?
Yeah, maybe they've done it in numerical order because even they don't know what formation is going to be yet. They'll just hope for the best 10 minutes before. I think if we're going by that, I don't know, you might even see Emerson being the left winger, Kudus on the right, Bowen up front, possibly Johnson as left back. Zuma, Agüero, obviously central defenders.
No, I reckon he's gone with what he went with at Manchester last week. I reckon he's just going to play Johnson just like a little bit higher up on the right hand side. I think he was last week because or was it the left? I can't remember. I think right hand side. It says I think he'll play a little bit more progressively. I think Emerson in that role is something that can be explored. I reckon, Coufal back in there, Zuma and Agüero. 4-3-3 will be my guess as well. That's what I expect. Well, at least we haven't got a 4 centre midfielder. So let's have a look at the bench, shall we? Fabianski, Creswell, Phillips, Mavropanos, Cornet, Ings, Ogbonna, Mubama, and Scarles. So attacking outlets there. You've got Ings, Cornet, Mubama, Scarles. Look, we're light. I'm going to say that every starting line this season. We are light in that extent. But to be fair, I'm going to say now that's what I ordered. That's what the doctor ordered, and I'm quite happy with that. He hasn't majorly annoyed me there, Phil. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I mean, there was a small part of me was thinking that he might chuck Antonio in on the bench.
Yeah,
just a small part of me, but yeah, the bench is sort of how I'd expect it to be. Really, starting to see Scarles in the subs bench a little bit more lately. So hopefully we can start to shoehorn him in a little bit towards the end of the season if we're lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll know Phillips will come on after about 65 minutes. Ings will come on at 75. Cornet will come on the 92nd minute. It writes
it's
itself.
all sculpted out, ready to go. Let's have a look at the away side, and Declan Rice does return in the starting lineup for Arsenal. Their lineup is up on your screen now. It's David Raya in goal, a back four of Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Jakub Kiwior. Number 41 is the holder. You've got Havertz and Odegaard as the other two, I'd expect, and then Saka, Martinelli, and Trossard. I don't watch Arsenal every week. I don't dissect them massively, but there's no Jesus there. I don't know who would go down the middle, Martinelli or Trossard. I'm not entirely sure. Sort of false nine sort of situation. But look, there's a mistake in Gabriel. Kiwior hasn't impressed massively this season. Havertz has been very hit or miss. Odegaard, he does a job. Saka can go missing. There are flaws in this side. They are a very good, youthful, energetic, young, effective side, but there are flaws in it. We've exposed it twice this season already, Phil. I'm going to be honest, and this may be a little bit naive of me, but that's what I expected, and I'm not too phased by it, to be honest.
No, we know what their sort of team is going to be. The right players you'd expect to be starting for Arsenal, but like you said about the players who can have a mistake in them, David Raya as well. He can come up with a mistake or two as well. So it's really important to see who's going to be more up for it when going forward. So if we really take full advantage of any possible mistakes the defence has, you never know what could happen.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the Arsenal subs bench. It's Aaron Ramsdale, Cedric Walters, Banderia, El Neni, Jorginho, Nelson, Nwaneri, and Nketiah. So there's no Jesus even on the bench. So realistically, they've got that and that's it, really, haven't they? Nelson can cause a problem, and Nketiah, a push can cause a problem. but they've got that lineup, and that's pretty much it, Phil.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know Walters or Banderia.
Or Nwaneri, whoever he is.
Nwaneri, must be a youngster.
Yeah, and then you've got
Elneny's been
Elneny,
there.
Jorginho, who are holding midfielders, Cedric the defender, Ramsdale's, of course, a keeper. So really, if their first team doesn't do it today, then they are down to the bare bones, similar to us.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, Nketiah, I'm not a massive lover of. I don't think he's all that, but he can. He'll come on. You might see him get a goal. That's just how it usually works when you're playing against us. Elneny, he's been there for years. I can't believe he's still there.
I didn't even know Cedric and Elneny were still at Arsenal.
Yeah, I always thought Cedric was only on loan at Arsenal. Didn't know that he was there permanently.
Yeah. I thought he left in the summer though. Cedric and Elneny at Arsenal. Jesus Christ.
Well, Elneny's been there for years.
I presume Walters, Banderia, and Nwaneri, I presume they're youngsters. You could probably say Nketiah and Nelson are youngsters as well. So I'm going to be honest. Yeah, look, there's no doubt about it. When you look at that lineup, Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard. I'm not even going to say Havertz because that would jinx it. But those players, those four can cause us problems. There's no doubt about that, But if we set up right, we just get that slice of luck, and look, we all know what we're going to do, and hopefully we'll be just a little bit more refreshing, similar to the first half at Old Trafford last week. And I think that was massively down to the involvement of Ben Johnson and how free we looked with a bit of pace on both sides. We've got Kudus in there, you've got Ben Johnson. Listen, we've got Corney on the bench, which is the only other pace outlet we have in our squad at the moment. But we've just got to try and just cling on to that. And we will park the bus. And if we concede early, we will try and steady the ship and then try and get them in the second half, most probably. But as long as we could just quieten them down early, get a couple of chances, and that'll be Moyes' game plan, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been times before where even when we've gone down, I've always had the confidence that we can go back and get something.
Yeah.
So if we can have that mentality again, then that's good. Because hopefully, if we get that goal early, I'd like us to still try and push and go for it, and don't get complacent or just park the bus straight away. Because then it just takes the Arsenal to just go for a full-on attack, and
it's going to be a long 90 minutes if we park the bus. I thought the game went by quite quickly on last Sunday actually against Man United. It's going to be a long old 90 minutes because they will be patient, and they are a side that can break teams down with just their pure and sheer quality they have going forward. But defensively, I think they've been asked questions of this season which answers haven't come back. I mean, if we can just pile the set pieces in, what a time today it would be for James Ward-Prowse to score his first free kick in a West Ham United shirt. We've caused some endless problems over the last 2 years from set pieces. I remember even when they beat us a couple of years ago when they had that yellow kit on, we scored from a set piece that day. There was the Ben White own goal in the Carabao Cup game. It was a Mavropanos goal in December. We always cause some problems from set pieces, and once again today we've got to exploit that. Get a couple of corners, get Ward-Prowse whipping them in, get them on Agurd and Zuma and Souček's head. That is one of the very few ways we're going to score. That and a bit of Kudus magic is where I'm seeing goals coming from at this current moment in time. But we've got to take that on board, and hopefully Moyes has put together a master plan today to get past these lot. And do you know what? It's with all the Rice stuff, it's become quite an intense, not rivalry, but there's just a bit of hatred that goes both ways here, and they've got a point to prove against us after we've beaten twice so far this season. And once again, we'll want to reinforce and see them all cry on AFTV a little bit later on. Philip, some final thoughts?
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go three times over Arsenal. That'd be brilliant. That's never happened before. I don't think so.
A treble.
That'd be good. A treble against Arsenal and a treble over Declan Rice as well, which would be good.
It would be so sweet. It would be so utterly sweet. And on the day of I think it was targeted, and I think it's been done on purpose. But there's been a tweet gone out today from a podcast where some Chelsea guy has said that he rang up Declan Rice and he said that he'd go back to Chelsea because he's a Chelsea fan and all the rest of it. And that's 100% going to come out today just to pee us all off because of today, and that's got to give us extra incentive today that we go, and yes, he'll clap us. He won't get a nice reception today. I can pretty much guarantee there'll be a few claps littered around the London Stadium, but I think the overarching feeling and atmosphere won't be pleasant for number 41 today. And old Martin Goodleyman on the PA announcer. Hopefully he's a West Ham fan. Hopefully he won't need to read goal for Arsenal scored by number 41 Declan Rice, because that would make my ears bleed personally. But look, we've got to try and take some of the confidence into today. A prediction, Phil?
Prediction, and this is where it all goes wrong. What shall I go for? I can't tell you. I'm gonna have to go for a 1-0. Play it safe. Play 1-0.
I think that's fair. Right, let's fire through some of your comments. Right, I'm going to go back quite a way because we've missed some. So I hope Bone's fully fit. So do I. Absolutely. So yeah, formation 7-2-1. 8-1-1. Oh dear. Get the buses out. Absolute. Sean says lack of pace could be the undoing. Only hope is Moyes thinking the place out and sitting deep, which will inevitably happen. Get them on the counter, get them from a set piece. That's where we're going to score. And hopefully that's where we can undo this Arsenal side today. Bet most of the Arsenal bench would get into our team. Well, I don't know. It's quite weak, isn't it? It's quite weak. I don't know about you, but yeah, Martinelli's come into a bit of a rich vein of form ahead of this game. It was a tough season, but I mean, look, they needed an absolute disaster class from Liverpool last weekend to gift them pretty much all 3 points. That was a calamity that you very rarely see from that Liverpool sort of goalkeeper and centre half in terms of Alisson and Van Dijk. That won't happen again for a good year or so. So they got lucky there. And I just hope we can get lucky today and things can fall our way. 10 at the back, 1 in attack. We've got Super David Moyes. He knows exactly what we need. Saka, Trossard and Martinelli can cause us problems before they can. They can hopefully, the likes of Alvarez, and we can defensively be sound today, Phil, to just nullify that threat. That's got to be the first priority today.
Yeah, as long as we're calm and confident in the back, then going forward should be no problem at all. Just keep the attack quiet, because that is it's a dangerous attack from Arsenal, and they can cause a lot of trouble. So we keep them quiet, then we can be a bit more comfortable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Danny, thanks for joining us. Hope you are well. Peter says 80% of our bench won't get on unless of injuries or chasing the game. Yeah, that's a fair point. Sean says West Ham going to park the bus, aren't they? That's a silly thing to put in. Sean, of course, Will. I didn't even need to write it. It's going to happen, and you're going to watch it cheering on the Hammers today, Sean, aren't you? I've seen a few sporadic Spurs fans tweeting support for West Ham today, which is mildly amusing, to be honest with you, because a few of them went, "We're all Hammers, aren't we?" And then that little depressed emoji, which was quite funny. It did make me laugh. Dino's 4 Zuma 10 minutes when his legs go. Dear me. They are playing a centre-back at left-back. Kudus, Bowen, Gottagam. Yeah, exactly. Kivior hasn't been fantastic this season. He's had a big injury that's disrupted his season. I mean, I'd have preferred Zinchenko in there, but I presume he's out for whatever reason. So Kivior, he's a centre-half at left-back. We had the same thing with Ben White back in November. We've got to exploit them and early on get into them and really press them. Get Kudus on his side, get him running at him. And we've got to, the thing today, Phil, we've got to get the ball to Kudus. I think that's my only. That's one of my very few issues with last week's game at Old Trafford. We didn't get the ball to Kudus enough for him to impact the game. The team talk today should be get the ball, look for Kudus.
Yeah, do that. Get the ball to him, and then that's the thing. If we do get the ball over to him, let him do what he can do when he's expressing himself, and make sure the other players they are ready in the box when he does have to cross the ball in. Because a lot of the time you see that, and then there's no one in the box, and it's like all that to nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Wonder if the players will wind Muller-boy up. I'm sure there'll be a few words. I'm sure there'll be a few words exchanged. Kudus will be the key to having us having a threat today. Absolutely. Bowen to score for the Irons on my FPL. Lawrence Hammers. I am on Jake's heels FPL. To be honest, I haven't really looked at it in recent weeks. I've been slacking. I'm sorry. I'll get back on it. I'm down to about 35th in my own league, which is unacceptable. So we will get back. I'll get back on it. Now I'll get back on it because I can't have Lawrence overtaking me. That's not going to happen. Moyes with the master plan. I thought I'd just reference another Oasis song after the show the other night. To be honest, Peter, because why not? Why not? Lawrence is going for a 1-1 draw, 2-1 to the Hammers. Desmond says, Dad, 2-1. Come on, you answer. I'm in agreement with Danny and Sharky. 2-1 West Ham. That's what I put in the predictions league. That's what I'm going to stick with. A goal from a set piece, scored by somebody with their head, and a goal from Mohamed Kudus drilled into the bottom corner to seal the deal for West Ham United. A goal in the middle of that, probably from maybe an Odegaard or a Trossard, just to have us a little bit concerned as the game goes on. Desmond, today we'll see you at full time. We'll join you for a live reaction. Well, hopefully this beaming smile will not have left my face. Usual suspect. Hope you are well. Thanks for joining us. Sean says Trossard usually better coming off the bench. I've noticed that actually. He doesn't really impact the game when he starts. He's more of a super sub sort of player, and for whatever reason today, Phil, injuries or suspensions or whatever, he's had to start. He's a good player, but yeah, I've got that sentiment as well that he's more of a bench player that comes on and makes an impact with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah. Sometimes you get players like that. They're a lot better. So yeah, it'd be different for him if he is starting. It's sort of down to him to sort of prove himself that he is worthy of starting more games as opposed to being a super sub.
Yeah, for sure. Peter says, if our defence wasn't so bad, our midfield and attack would be more confident. I mean, yeah, it's 100%. It's a knock-on effect that goes through the side. And listen, Zuma's legs don't help things. I think Emerson has been superb this season. And Soufal's been sort of going, dropping in and out of the side. And I don't think he's been fantastic this season. But it has a knock-on effect all throughout the side. And I think the midfield has been square pegs round holes this year, which has affected the attacking players to an extent as well. And it's a knock-on effect all through the side. And if we can just sort of stitch it all together today and make it work, then I think we can flow as a side, and hopefully we can get that. Yeah, no stupid back passes. If in doubt, into the crowd. Exactly. We cannot afford to. I'm fed up of us passing it around the back where we're not good enough to do that. We haven't got, intricate enough players to be passing it around our own sort of, 18-yard line and all the rest of it. If there's pressure, thump it, because we got done against Bournemouth by it. We've been done in the past by it as well. If in doubt, get rid, Phil.
Yeah, I think that should be the case for a lot of teams, really. I mean, passing out from the back, if you got the players, and yeah, it's fine. But like I said, we don't have them, but it's one of the most amateurish thing to do, especially when you're passing it across your own penalty area as well, knowing full well they got attacking players right there as well. It's just amateur.
It's lunacy. It's absolute lunacy. Lawrence says, good shout, Phil. People need to be in the box and ready to finish. Yeah, we've got to find that balance, because at the moment, Kudus is getting the ball, he's running, and nobody's keeping up with him, and nobody's there with him, and it's utterly pointless when he gets to the moment where he needs to either release the ball to complete the move or whatever situation we find ourselves in, is that nobody's coming forward. And yes, in a game like this today, in a game with the electric pace that Man United had last weekend, there's got to be a balance that's found, because we can't commit too many bodies forward and then have ourselves exposed defensively. But we've got to have a couple more bodies entering the box late and just giving some outlets, because we are a bit predictable going forward in what we're going to do. Some players need to commit forward and give us some attacking options on the end of these creative balls from Bowen and Kudus and etc. Phil.
Absolutely. I mean, even just run through the defence, but just going down the middle, staying centre, just run at them that way. 3 or 4 people side by side, and you've got options there instead of having to just go down to the wing, hesitate, pass it back, 3 moves later, it's all the way back to the keeper again. That's the other problem.
Absolutely right. We will leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, everybody, for watching this match builder show. If you've enjoyed it, drop a like on the video. Subscribe to West Ham Official if you are new. I will return to this show, not this show. I'll return at full time, describing the events of this opening Super Sunday game. It'll be here on West Ham Official, the instant match reaction on the full time whistle, where hopefully we're discussing a West Ham victory over Arsenal once again. Phil, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you, Jake. Pleasure as always.
It's good to speak to you. And from us, come on, you irons. All fingers and toes across today. This is a big game. It's got extra meaning for West Ham fans. And boy, would it be good. Proper Kevin Keegan style. I'd love it if we beat them today. I'd absolutely love it. We'll see you on the full-time whistle. Thanks for watching. And come on, you irons. Do the job today, lads. Please do the business. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.